What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Nameless X here, and thank you for tuning in for my Assassin's Creed Odyssey build guide. I recently had a commentary on a video that I put out maybe less than a year. It was about 10 or 11 months back, and I decided to actually ended up having a comment, or actually ended up having a comment on that video, and it was in regards of why he thought that the reason why I didn't do much damage in terms of the build that I was talking about for that specific video. It was basically a build guide to where it was about the hunter build, the assassin build, and the warrior build, and I felt, to me, in a manner of speaking, with that comment, it felt like that he was trying to trigger me or kind of set me off a little bit, and it didn't work. But what I'm trying to say is that it was had to do with about the critical criticism or the constructive criticism within that comment that he put into, or how he verbaged it, really. So, to much further ado, I'm gonna be doing a redo video of this because I feel like that the way how he was trying to just what I previously said, it wasn't. It felt like it wasn't too concrete, and hence the reason why I'm doing this redo video. So, anyways, to much further ado, like I said, this is Nameless X, and I will be discussing the builds with Assassin's Creed Odyssey and heretofore to understand how these builds work in a matter of damage, not just of what the build can do for itself. So here we go. So now what we're doing here is that I'm going to be showing off the build for the warrior, and what I've really noticed about the warrior class specifically is that if you're going to go full on warrior, here's what the skill tree looks like. You are going to have the battle cry of Ares. You are going to have the overpower attacks. You are going to have the fire mastery, the flaming attacks, the shield breaker, the charged heavy attack, the Sparta kick. This is Sparta. You know, I thought I'd put that in there. The weapons master, the gear master, Fury of the Bloodline, Ring of Chaos, Second Wind, and the Bull Rush. So basically, like I said, that's basically what the warrior side is. And now I'm going to go over to the inventory here when I'm going to be discussing about this specifically. And like I said, I feel like I didn't do it enough or specificize that enough in my previous video that I made for close to a year ago. So basically what the gear set that I am using is called the Hunter's Treads. Now, and here's the thing, these are a warrior class type of gear set, and they are legendary. And I will say one thing that he definitely, I might have to agree with that he mentioned in that comment, is the fact that, yes, I do agree that all legendary gear does kind of suck, because you can eventually find better gear that have higher armor rating. But either or, it doesn't mean that the legendary gear in Odyssey doesn't have to suck per se. But yes, like I said, what I'm saying is that I agree to disagree. So, anyway, so that's basically what I'm saying, is that you have basically the Hunter Treads, King of the Forest, the lion snare, excuse me, bracers of the brave, and then you have the lion's pride. Basically, this is a helix set warrior side of the gear itself. And so if you go down here, you have your warrior. Basically, I'm doing 92,973 damage for my right side of for the Sword of Kings, right? And then on your other side, you are going to be doing 93,147 damage for your secondary weapon. So basically, that's what the warrior side does in terms of its damage output. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to go to this side here, and we are going to select loadout number 2. This loadout number 2 is going to be more partaking in to the assassin side. I'm doing basically 628,901 assassin damage. Basically, you can almost basically just one hit assassinate almost every single enemy throughout the world of Odyssey. That's the output that the assassin damage that you will be doing. So that's the reason why that dude was complaining that I wasn't doing much damage, because he didn't he didn't really focus enough, or maybe possibly he did, but this is the damage output for the warrior if I were going to do the warrior side, as I previously explained. Excuse me, pardon my language. So now, basically, I have the climbing vine greaves. I have the robes for ritual. I have the wine waistband. Excuse me, veins of the grapevine, and Dionysos leopard skin. So basically, this is a really good Helix assassin gear set as well. So if you want to be able to have a good amount of and it also has to do with the fact that how you engrave your gear and how you engrave your weapons with different types of engravings that you put on as you see fit. But like I said, it depends on your playstyle, and that's what Odyssey does. Odyssey gives you a repertoire of playstyles of what basically what you can initially somewhat kind of do in Valhalla. Valhalla has that kind of intricate type of role-playing mechanic as well as like Odyssey does. But with Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, it doesn't really give you that type of playstyle. You don't have the different playstyles in Origins because you're playing a little bit of a warrior assassin in the mix all throughout the entire game. So Origins kind of like, what I'm saying is that excluding Origins, but just talking about Valhalla or Odyssey in terms of playstyle, you can do that as you see fit. So that's all I'm going to put that in there. And it also has to do with what kind of damage that you're going to be doing output for your bow and for your swords, or for your sword or your secondary or your daggers. Basically, what I'm saying is that when you have your daggers as a second equipped item, okay, and then when you have your sword item, the damage stacks. So each weapon that you have assassin damage on, including the assassin damage that you have on for your gear set, like I said, it stacks. And once you get all that stacked up, this is the amount of assassin damage that you can do. I am sure that you can get much higher than that, but that's all the higher that I could get as much as I can in terms of the assassin damage. So, just bear that in mind. Now we are going to go towards the hunter. Oh, wait. Now, here are the abilities for the assassin, basically. I went with the Shadow Assassin, Venomous Attacks, Revelation. That's going to help you a good perspective of highlighting things within the world of Odyssey. Let's see. You have Poison Mastery. You have Rush Assassination, which is pretty nice, pretty overpowered. You have Critical Assassination, which is even more nice, especially if you want to do that extra critical hit. Hero Strike, which is really nice. It's pretty beneficial, especially if you go into somewhat of a heated combat. It's a good technique. Then you have the Death Veil. The Death Veil, basically, as you see here, it shows that your enemies will automatically disappear once you critically or assassinate your enemies. Then you have the Chronos Time Warp, which is going to help you maintain a good way of maintaining your distance from targets if you do not want to be damaged, excuse me. So that's a good perk as well. And then you have the Stealth Master. The Stealth Master is actually going to help you maintain a much more valuable way of not being detected automatically. It also depends on how much points that you can be able to partake and put into in order to achieve that Stealth Master as you see for the Assassin Tree. So, okay. Now, since we talked about the assassin, sorry about that. We meditated. It's not what I wanted to do, but we're okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, we are going to go towards the hunter side. Now, for the hunter side, like I said, each piece of weaponry and your gear, like I said, it all stacks for the hunter damage. I am doing 73,756 damage. Now, like I said, you could argue possibly maybe going higher than that. You can if you do so, but it also has to do with how much engraving hunter damage that you can be able to put on your gear or your weapons. Like I said, each weapon that you put for a secondary or for a primary, and your bow, along with the gear that you have here, which is I have the crown of the Sphinx, arms of the Sphinx, belt of the Sphinx, armor of the Sphinx, and then Greaves of the Sphinx. This is a really good hunter set. I mean, I really can't say what other gear sets that are really good for the hunter class specifically, so bear that in mind though too. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that as well. So basically, what I've just totally did here, I did a little bit more of a better breakdown of what the hunter class does in terms of the damage output. I did more of the warrior output for the warrior side, and then I also did an assassin output for the assassin as well for Odyssey. So I think that's a lot more beneficial, and I think I really discussed this more into depth and into detail of what each build that you can do, particularly if you want to play that game, if you want to play these types of playstyles in Odyssey as you see fit. So, but anyways, too much further ado, thank you for tuning in. Really greatly appreciate it. But if you have any comments or questions you might have, please put them in the comment section below and be more than happy to reply or answer back. Put a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like I said, Nameless X here, and peace.